some to your screen, then I'll just leave them off this morning. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna start in a comfortable seated position. So get comfy on your mat. Sukhasana, legs crossed, or any position that feels nice and comfortable and lets you sit up nice and tall. And then just give yourself a second to kind of settle in. If it feels good, close your eyes down or just soften your gaze, maybe stare at the floor. And then as your body starts to settle in, just take a moment to assess, make sure everything feels like it's really in a nice, comfortable position, reorganize anything that needs fixing. And then if you feel like you're in a really good position, start to find a nice tall posture. So we just want to find that nice lift up through the crown of the head and see if we can draw the head, heart, hips all in one line. So it feels like you're leaning against an imaginary wall. And then once you've got that sensation, pause for a moment, set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, eyes opened or closed, totally up to you. But on your next inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring your chin down towards your chest and see if you can keep your shoulders down and back. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale and tuck your chin down. Inhale to lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. We're going to take our head into a neutral position and then turn it slightly to the left. So think about just turning about 1 inch to the left and then come right back to that up and down maneuver. Inhale to lift up and exhale to tuck the chin down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale down. One more here. And then as you bring your head back to neutral, we're going to turn one more time to the left. So going just a little bit further, which might shorten your range of motion. So just move in a way that's comfortable. Inhale to lift the chin up and exhale to soften the chin down. And just notice the right side of your neck and just move in a way that feels like it's a real safe lift and lower of the chin. One more up and down here. Nice. And then as you tuck your chin down, roll all the way over and across to your other shoulder, and then roll all the way across over to that original shoulder. Nice. And then bring your head to a nice neutral place, come back to center, and then we're going to start to rotate the other side. So turn your head about 1 inch to the right, and then find that lift and lower of the chin. One more up and down. And then we're going to turn slightly again to the right. So just another inch or so, and then come right back to that lift and lower of the chin. Nice. One more up and down. And then we're going to find that neutral place, turn one more time. So now you might find a slightly lessened range of motion. Lift up and down in a way that feels comfortable to you. Awesome. And then the next time the chin tucks down, roll it all the way over and across over to the other shoulder, and then roll it back to that original shoulder. Beautiful. Then bring your head to a nice neutral place, come back to center. Left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up. We're going to take 3 mini side bends. So we're just going to lean in and lift up, lean in and lift up, lean in and lift up, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. And I promise we'll come back and go a little deeper. Lean in and lift up. So it's just a little micro bend. We just want to start to kind of wake up the side body. Notice how things are feeling down towards the hip. Awesome. And then lift up, take it over to the other side, and this time stay here. So we're going to let that bottom elbow soften towards the earth. We're going to keep our sits bones nice and heavily anchored towards the ground, and then think about drawing your thumb back a little bit, look up towards the sky and take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, lift up and take it over to the other side. So your elbow's going to get a little heavy towards the earth. Sit bones are going to stay nice and anchored, reaching through the fingertips, draw the thumb back, look up towards the ceiling, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then lift up and we'll take it right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee. And then we're going to rotate to the left. Think about getting nice and tall here on your inhale. Cool. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, unwind and take it over to the other side. Catch your knee, hand comes behind you, and think about finding that nice, tall, lifted spine. Beautiful. One more breath. Nice. And then come back to center. We're going to give ourselves a hug. So one hand is just going to come on top of the other. Grab hold of your shoulders. Think about drawing the shoulders down, abdominal muscles in. We're going to round the upper back body just slightly. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then lift those elbows back up to neutral. Open the arms. Maybe get a little stretch through the chest and then bring it back in with the other arm on top. Catch your shoulders. Think about pulling the shoulders down, abdominal muscles in, round the upper back body, tuck your chin into your chest. And then when you breathe, can you notice the space in between your shoulder blades? Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then come back up, open your arms nice and wide. Just take a little stretch to the chest. Nice. And now we're going to rotate to the left. So find a twist again. Hang out here, but now we're going to take that back arm or your left hand up to shoulder height, flip your palm and add a little side bend to your twist. Cool. And then come back up and we're going to rotate to the other side. So we're going to find our twist first, hang on to that front knee, and then reach your right hand to shoulder height, flip the palm so it faces the ceiling, and then add a side bend. Beautiful. Bring it all back up. And now we're going to rotate back to that original side. So come back to that twist, and then we're going to add on to that. So hand is going to reach to shoulder height, flip the palm, find a side bend, and then we're going to reach over and across. And can you find your other knee? And you might have to make some rearrangements, make some space for your belly, make some space for your chest. But now we're going to rotate heart to center. And then either we're going to catch our shoulders in that hug position or wrap the arms up in some eagle arms. So you're going to find the position for your arms that feels like the best way to go. So maybe you give a hug or maybe you wrap your hands. And then once you've got a position you like, we're just going to take a couple little lifts and lowers of the elbows. So just a little bit of a, think of a cat and cow sensation. We just want to kind of move through the spine up and down. Nice. Take one more up and down. And then unwind your arms, open your chest. And now we're going to take our twist over to the other side. So catch hold of your knee, and then we're going to add on to that side as well. So hand to shoulder height, flip the palm, take a side bend. And then if you can, reach over and across, find your opposite knee, and then rotate heart to center. Wiggle around, get some space for the chest and belly, and then either hold on to the shoulders or wrap the arms around, whichever feels like a better grab. And then come up into a nice taller seat, and then take a couple little lifts and lowers of the elbows. Beautiful. And then bring your elbows to that neutral space, unwind, open your arms, open the chest. Beautiful. And then find your way into a tabletop position. So we're going to flip ourselves up onto all fours. And then as you come up onto all fours, just give yourself a second to get situated. Hands in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips, and then start to find this little wag of the tail. So we're just going to bop our hips side to side as if you were trying to drop your hips down towards the floor. So hopefully you'll find a little bit of a stretch or movement or sensation in the sides of your glutes and the sides of your hips. Nice. Take one more little wag of the tail side to side. And then as you bring it back to center, we're going to curl both sets of toes under and then find a rock sensation forward and back. So we want to stretch the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Beautiful. One more rock forward and back. And then we're going to release the toes, finding a neutral tabletop position. Keep your hips in line with your knees and take it into a puppy pose. So we're going to walk the hands forward to heart melting pose or puppy pose, whatever you like to call it. But the chest and the forehead are going to melt down towards the mat. And then if you like, if your shoulders are tight, you can always walk your hands a little wider to the outer edges of your mat to make some space for the shoulder blades. So whichever position feels good here, and then take 3 nice deep breaths. On your next inhale, start to find your way back up into a tabletop position. And we're going to move into a cat and cow breath. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail. Exhale, round your back and gaze toward your belly button. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale to round your back. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale to round. One more breath here. Nice. And then find a neutral spine, big toes together. Walk your knees to the outer edges of your mat and come to extended child's pose. So we're going to bring the butt back to the heels. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead, let everything soften down towards the earth. And then take a couple seconds here just to come back to your breath. A nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then maybe think about just letting go of any efforting in the arms and the fingers for a moment. Allow the shoulders to sink and settle in. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, we'll start to find our way back up into that tabletop position. Walk the knees in so they're back in line with the hips. And then we're going to slide the right leg back. Toes are going to be curled under. And we're just going to stretch through the calf and the heel. So we're just going to take a couple of gentle rocks forward and back. Awesome. And then when you feel good and ready, slide that leg in and we're going to switch sides. The left leg is going to slide back, toes curled under, and take a couple of rocks forward and back. Nice. And then when you feel good and ready, slide that leg in and we're going to set ourselves up for a down dog. So curl both sets of toes under, pull your bum back toward your heels, start to lift the knees up and away from the floor, send your sits bones up and back, and then start to pedal the legs. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Take one or two more pedals of the legs. And when you feel good, look forward. We'll walk, step, or hop our feet up to the top of the mat and find a little ragdoll fold here. So we're going to make some space for ourselves. Feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. Make some space for your belly, make some space for your chest, and then just let your spine dangle here. Let your head get nice and heavy. Let gravity do a little bit of work for you. Let your arms be heavy. And then tune back into your breath. A nice big inhale, let your belly fill up with air. And then exhale, let all that air go. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, you're going to bend your knees a lot. Walk your hands up to your thighs. We're going to find the hip creases. So we're going to walk our hands up and find that nice little fold where the hip meets the belly. And then we're going to press ourselves away from the thighs as we straighten the legs. So we're going to come into a little 7 shape with the body and think about really pressing into the tops of the thighs to find some length through the crown of your head. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then just soften your hand hold, bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And then just give yourself a second as you come to standing to just get yourself situated. Make sure your clothes are comfortable, get everything in order, and then find mountain pose at the top of your mat. Feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, arms down at your sides. palms forward or in, that's totally up to you, but bring a little bit of life into your fingertips and a little life up through the top of your head. Cool. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center, we're gonna interlace the fingers here, press the palms forward, make some space for your shoulders, and then press the arms up and overhead. Take a side bend one way, come back to center, side bend the other way, come back to center, unlace your fingers, give your fingers a little twinkle as you come on down, and then soften the shoulders down and back. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Keep all that length, bend your knees, push into your feet, inhale, arms up. Hands to heart center. This time we're going to interlace our fingers the weird way. So switch the cross in your fingers, flip the palms, press them forward, make some room for your shoulder blades, and then press the arms up and overhead. Take a side bend one way, come back to center, take a side bend the other way, come back to the center, unlace your fingers, give them a little twinkle on the way down, and then come back into your mountain pose. Nice. Now we're going to go a little further from here. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and forward fold. You can bend the knees or keep them straight, whichever feels good. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. We're going to step the right leg back into a low lunge. So we're going to bring the knee down to the ground and then toes tucked or release. That's going to be totally up to you, whichever feels more stable. Bring your hand to your front knee, lift your chest. Nice. And then think about pulling that left hip crease back. Raise your arms up and look up. Cool. And then you can stay here if you're super happy here, but if you want, we're going to take it for a little twist. So left hand is going to come to the left hip, right hand's going to come across that left knee. We're going to use that knee for a little bit of leverage. So think about pushing your knee out into your hand and your hand into the knee, and then rotate just a little bit deeper to the left. Take a nice big breath. When you're ready, nice and easy, unwind, float your fingers down to the ground. If your back toes are curled under here, I'll say release them a little bit. And we're going to take 3 gentle rocks forward and back to find a little bit of length through that front leg. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to rock forward, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up so we come into a higher lunge. And now we're going to see if we can lift the fingertips away from the floor, find a little bit of strength. And then if your legs are steady and stable, raise your arms up. Take one big breath. Beautiful. And then float your hands down. We're going to frame the front foot or step to the inside of the foot and step back to a plank. Nice. And then bring your knees down to the ground. Rotate the eyes of your elbows towards the front of your mat. Hug your elbows in towards your ribs. Lower onto your belly with some control. Beautiful. And then once you make your way down, give a second. Shake out your tush, wiggle out your shoulders, make sure everything feels like it's in a nice position. Hands alongside the shoulders, 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale to lower down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. From here, we're going to push our way up into a tabletop position, curl the toes under, exhale, and find your way up to a downward facing dog. Look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Find a little forward fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften back down towards the ground. Press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. So we're going to bring the knee down to the ground, and then the back foot, toes tucked or release. That's just going to be totally up to you. Bring your hand to your front knee, lift your chest, get yourself organized, pull that right hip crease back, find some stability in your legs. And then when it feels good, Inhale, raise your arms up. Nice. Now, if you feel really good here and you're happy, stay here and breathe. But if it felt good to take a little twist, left hand to the right knee, right hand to the hip, we're going to leverage against that knee. So the knee is going to push out into the hand and the hand into the knee so we can rotate just a little deeper. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy, unwind, hands to the ground. If those back toes are tucked under, I think release them and then rock a little bit forward and back. Beautiful. And then the next time you come forward, curl the back toes under, pick the back knee up, find that higher lunge, see how that feels. If you've got stability, lift the fingertips up. And then if your legs feel really good, strong, and stable, arms reach up and overhead. Beautiful. One nice big breath. Nice. And then float the hands down, either frame the foot or bring the hands to the inside of the foot. And then we step that foot back to a plank. Beautiful. Bring the knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows towards the top of the mat, hug your elbows in, lower with control onto your belly. Awesome. Give a second to just kind of get in a comfortable position here. We're going to take it into our drunken serpent. So hands off the outer edges of your mat with our nice tall piano fingers. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the right. Right shoulder is going to lift up and back, and you're going to look over that shoulder. Inhale and lift. Nice. Exhale, lower down. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift that left shoulder up and look over. Exhale, lower down. Back to center one more time. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Slide your hands in. Push your way up to a tabletop position. Curl the toes under and come up to down dog. In down dog here, we're going to take the right leg up into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Beautiful. Release that leg down and switch sides. Left leg's going to lift up. Bend the knee, let your hip roll open. Beautiful. Release that leg down, look forward, walk, step, or hop your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Nice. And now we're going to take a little variation of a half dancer pose. So it's going to be a little hands-free variation. So shift your weight over to your left foot and just pull your right heel toward your buttocks. And then see if you can find that little bit of action working the back hamstring or the back of that leg. So keep hugging that heel in toward your butt. Right hand's going to stay on the hip. Left hand is going to extend up alongside your ear. Keep that heel squeezing in. So we want to really feel that nice firmness in the back of that thigh. And if you can feel that action, now tilt your hips just slightly. Reach out through that left hand. Keep hugging that heel in towards the bum. Take one big breath. And then tilt your hips back and release that foot down. And then give a second to give it a good little shake out. Stretch out the back of that leg. And then we're going to take it to the other side. So shift your weight over to your right foot. Pull the heel, your left heel, towards your left bum. Feel that nice little action, that squeezing that's going on in the back of the thigh. Left hand to the hip. Right hand's going to reach up alongside your ear, but keep squeezing that heel towards your bum. And then we're going to lean forward just slightly. So a little tilt to the hips. Keep hugging that heel in towards your bum. And then tilt the hips to come back up. And then gently release that foot down. Woo, and shake out the backs of the legs. Nice. And now find a nice even position of your feet about hip width distance apart. Take a nice big breath, reach up. Bend your knees a lot, hinge from your waist, fold all the way down. Fingers are going to touch the ground. We're going to take a couple little pumps of the backs of the legs. So only straightening as much as feels good. We don't want any shooting sensation down the back or down the backs of the legs. Beautiful. Take one more little pumps of the legs, and then we're going to roll ourselves down to the ground. So bend your knees a lot, let your heels lift, set your butt down onto the ground. We're going to grab the backs of the thighs, lean back into the sits bones, lift the toes up away from the floor. Beautiful. And now you might be so happy here in this balance, keeping a nice lifted chest, finding a little resistance in your arms and your legs. But if this feels really nice, you're going to lift the toes up a little bit higher. Awesome. And then think about holding on to the left leg, but letting go of the right leg, stretch it out nice and long. Lovely. Bend that leg, catch hold of the back of the thigh, and switch. Left leg is going to extend out. Beautiful. Bring it back in. And then maybe think about reaching both legs out for one little breath. Nice. And then bend, float the toes down to the ground, curl your tailbone under, roll down nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. And then once you found your way down, just give a second, get yourself all set up. Make sure your clothes and your hair feel like they're in a good, comfortable position. We're going to come into supine twist. So left knee is going to hug up into the chest. Right leg is going to extend nice and long. We're going to take that left leg over to the right. So over and across the body. Let your left arm open out nice and wide and think about turning your head to the left. Take one more breath. From here, we're going to pull that left knee in towards the chest and think about sliding the right leg in so we can set up for a little figure four here. So we're going to take that left leg, drop it across the right into a figure four position. And then 3 times hands free, we're just going to lift the right knee up and then lower the right knee down. Lift the right knee up and lower it down. One more time, just like that. Lift the right knee up and lower it down. Beautiful. And then if all of that was feeling good, we're going to lift the right knee up and then start to find a little wobble with our figure four. So just a little gentle rocking side to side. Cool. And then if all of that feels good, if it feels available, thread the hands through, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin or the knee. And then think about just drawing the legs in just a little bit till you feel a little sensation in the outside of that left hip. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release. Step your left leg off the right, pause for a moment, notice. Cool. And then when you feel ready, left knee is going to pull into the chest, right leg is going to extend long, and we're taking our twist to the other side. So bring it over and across the body, arm reaches out. I think I set you guys up on the wrong side. Pull the right knee into the chest and the left leg long and take it over and across to the other side. I do not want you to be uneven. That would not be a fun way to spend your Saturday. Take one more breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, bring that right knee back into the chest, slide the left leg in, and then find your figure four shape. Drop the right leg across the left, 3 times hands free. We're just going to lift the left leg up and then release the leg back down to the ground. Lift it up and release it down. Lift it up and release it down. Now you might be happy just staying with that lift and lower, but if it felt good to lift up, find a little bit of a wobble, just rock your figure four a little bit side to side. Nice. And then if it feels available, maybe reach through, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, whichever grab feels good. And then think about hugging in just to the point where you feel a little sensation in the outside of your hip. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release. Step the right leg off the left. Toe heel your feet out to the outer edges of your mat and take a couple of windshield wipers with the knees gently side to side. Bring a little bit of fluid back into the hips and a little bit of softness back into your low back. Nice. Take one more drop of the knees side to side, and then get ready to set yourself up for your Shavasana. So maybe you'd like to finish in constructive rest with your knees collapsing in towards each other, offers a little support to the low back. Maybe you would need a little bit more action this morning, so a reclined cobbler's pose might be the way to go. Maybe you want a little legs up the wall, or maybe you prefer a more traditional shape, walk your feet nice and long. So find whatever shape feels like the best way to go for you, that you can find a little bit of stillness. And then just give yourself a second or two to get comfortable and settle in. Once you've worked out your wiggles and got your body in a nice, soft position, if it feels safe and comfortable, allow your eyes to close down, or maybe just soften your gaze. Maybe allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Allow your arms and your legs to be nice and heavy. Tune into your hips and your bum and just notice if you're holding tension in your hips, see if you can soften. And then allow that softness to find your belly and your chest. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. But if you feel called to do so, start to reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, invite a deeper breath back into your body. Maybe tune in for a moment, notice the floor underneath you. Offer up a little gratitude for this nice solid surface that you had to work in. Offer up a little gratitude for the walls and the ceiling above you. And then if it feels really good, take a big good morning stretch like a yawn and just stretch from fingers to toes. Take a nice big giant breath back into your body. Awesome. And then in your own way, in your own time, find your way up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that means to you. Nice. And then as you find your way up to a nice comfortable seated position, we're going to take our little thumbs and we're going to locate this little points right where our eyebrows end at, right before they come to that third eye center. So there's these little tiny indentions right there. If you can kind of press your thumbs around gently and find these little nook, almost as if your thumbs were meant to be there. And if you can find that little space, we're just going to drop the chin towards the chest and allow the weight of your forehead to just rest on your thumbs. So we're just letting the head weight rest on the thumbs to find the pressure points, but we're not cramming our thumbs into that space. And then once you feel like you found a nice comfortable position. Can you draw tiny little circles with your thumbs, go in one direction? And then can you draw tiny little circles with your thumbs and go the other way? Awesome. And then a slight lift of your head so you can press your thumbs out along the length of your eyebrow. Find your temples, give your temples a tiny little rub. It looks like we're making donkey ears. And bring your hands together at heart center and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.